Hi YouTube, Mr. Dodo49 here, and yeah, it's time for a little update for the layout. I've done quite a, well, what I think I've done quite a lot, but you might think differently. But I've done some stuff which actually look really good in my opinion, and I sort of wanted to show you before I covered them up. But anyway, we'll start off at this end. I haven't done a huge amount at this end. I have done a little bit more of the bushes and stuff sort of in between the tracks and areas. Other than that, I haven't really done much. I've decided on the ballast I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a mixture of grey, dark, grey light, brown, and if I can find something that's a bit lighter, almost a white in colour, I'm going to mix them all together in a big pot, so there's going to be lots of different colours and varieties now, and I think that'll look quite good. Sort of this sort of thing, but that sort of mixture, but this is incorrect. Sort of, well, I want medium, and that one is, what do they describe it as? Coarse, yeah. That's coarse, and I want medium. So I'm going to be using medium gravel, and hopefully it'll be quite good. I haven't decided where to get it from. Hatton's do something. There's a shop in North Wales that do quite a good deal at the moment, so I will have to have a look, and hopefully next video. But anyway, now I've actually done something quite, well, I think it looks good. I'll show you in just a second, you'll see what I mean. But, yeah, it's, actually. So, this is the area I've done a little bit of work on. Now, if you're watching the previous video, this was black. And it was the same sort of black as the road you can see there. But you can now quite clearly see there's a divide there. Now, it's actually still wet, so it looks, when the glue is dried, it will look a lot less obvious. But with the gap start. And I did that because if I remove that, if I show you now, you can hopefully see, if I can get it in one shot, that it starts off black around this corner. As it moves along, it slowly gets dirty until you get to here, right at the edge of the screen, where it turns into a sandy colour. I'll move the camera around so you can see it better, but it's what I tried to do is make this into a bit of a work yard. So yeah, slightly better angle. Yeah, I wanted to make it into a bit of a work yard. And I didn't really want it to be the same colour as the road, so I wanted to kind of keep that separate. So what I've decided to make it look like is that the road was built to come in to exactly where the edge of the car is. So that bit there was done like by the councillors, if it would have been done today. And they built the road all the way up to there, then they stopped, and then the railway company had to build the rest of it. So it's what they did is they put like a very fine layer of tarmac, like when it was brand new it would have had tarmac up to there. And then they would have just used gravel and sand and whatever on the other half of it. But over time, it's obviously got moved across. So it's sort of, the sand has almost walked from one end towards the other, from lorries driving in and out and stuff. And I think I've got quite a good look to it there. Now, the best thing to create a sand colour is amazingly sand. But within that sand, I've also added something called calcium sand. I found it somewhere, which is a white sand basically, and I mixed them together at about an 80-20 mix of sand and this white sand. And when I stuck it in there, it now looks like there's lots of bits, like slightly larger stones within the like sandy gravel. I think it gives it quite a nice effect. Try and get the truck out of the way in the car. Yeah, I think it gives it quite a nice effect. I'll show you from the other angle so you can see it. From this angle, it's a lot clearer exactly what it looks like. But as you can see, it's nice and sand coloured here. As you move along, it gets blacker and blacker and blacker until you get up to the end here, which is a nice sort of black as the road. And I think it gives a nice effect. Now, I had to do the same thing for the grass because it turns to grass at the end. So I did this here. And as you can see, we've got the sand colour, and by the time we get to this end, it's grass, and it sort of mixes in the middle. And, excuse me, yeah, the way I did that was quite simply put down the layer of sand first, then put down a layer of static grass on top of it while the glue's still wet. So it's a very light layer of sand, so it's quite thick here. As I went that way, it just got a lighter scatter. Then put the static grass on the top of it. And then once that had dried and set and everything, I checked it looked okay. It didn't quite, so I just added a very fine shake of sand with a little bit of glue in there towards this end, and it's come out quite nicely. I mean, It's very difficult to get it in one shot, but it looks sort of like that, as you can see, which yeah, it looks quite good, I think. And it's just sort of merged all the colours together to make it look like the grass at this end has sort of slowly grown across, and the sandy gravel has got pushed across again even further towards just when lorries coming in and out. And I think that looks quite good. That effect sort of just gives a different colour rather than green and black. There's now a nice bit of browny, light brown in there as well. So then moving on a bit, you can now see that I've put grass down the middle of these two tracks. I wanted grass between these two because I didn't want it to be like a storage yard or anything. There probably will be, well, I'm going to use longer blades of grass in there, but if people know, I'm using actually like 2 layers, so a base layer like that, and then another layer on top of it to make it look quite nice and thick and long. About 10-12 mil grass. Then within the grass I'm going to place wheels and old sleepers and rails and things like that. And I think it'll just give it a nice look to it. You know, like it's almost just, they've just been dropped there a few years back and the grass has grown around it, that sort of thing I'm going for. So anyway, yeah, I wanted that bit there in the middle to be a nice bit of grass. In this gap here will be completely ballast. So I obviously haven't done anything here. A couple of shrubs and bushes sort of in that area there, but I didn't want to do that until I put the ballast down. And this side here is going to be ballast as well. Basically, wherever you see wood or black underlay from the track, there will be ballast on top of that, which is the next thing to get after the static grass, because I want to put the static grass on, then the ballast on, in that order. So I think it'll look a bit better like that. It will actually swing the camera around. And I've also done the end piece. I haven't had any bushes or shrubbery or plants or trees or anything like that yet, but I will do eventually. But I just wanted to show the sort of merging of colour. And I've done the same sort of thing down here. I wanted it to be a yard, basically, so there's sand around the back, and same on the top. I wanted it to be a bit of a yard sort of area, so I did, well, it's basically just sand straight onto the wood, and then a little bit of grass around the outside edge. But what I did here was I actually merged the grass from the, well, there's grass at this end, and by the time you get to this end of the track, it's actually the sand. It's exactly the same sort of effect as I showed you earlier. But this one here I think it looks better than the other one. It's over a larger area, the grass is thicker and thinner in place and stuff, which is quite good. And then on this side I've sort of stopped about here because the ballast would take over then and carry going all the way down the inside of the track. Right then, yeah, this is the top sort of areas of the track. As you can see, there's the gravel yard I was talking about. There's going to be steps coming up to the edge of the platform here, which will be for like workers and well, people who work for a rail company, not for public. So there'll be steps coming up here. There's also going to be steps coming up on the end of the other platform, but I'll show you that in a minute. I've added in the foot crossing here. This here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do exactly with it, but it will eventually be wood and brown colour. I'm probably going to paint on it, just paint straight onto this and see how that looks first of all. If that doesn't look quite good, then I might put like a layer of paper on top of it, and then then paint the paper. I'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, yeah, on this side of it, just a nice bit of quite thick bushes in there. When the gravel drops in, it'll drop into all these gaps. I think it'll look quite good. Then middle section, there's just static grass, nothing really interesting about that. I will be adding like a dead tree almost, quite a small one. I hope, well, you'll see what I mean when I build it. It's not going to interfere with the trains in any way. It's going to sit about here. It's going to be about a line of 3 of them, and they're all going to be like dead and like been blown over, and they're not going to look very good or anything like that. And a couple of like thick grass around the bottom of them, a couple of tufts, things like that. So I'm going to detail that bit there like that. Bit of ballast sort of is just run all over. That's the sort of look I'm going for. At the top, as you can see, there's a bit of grass towards the edge of the track. That will be eventually have longer grass on it, which will then have ballast sort of in and around the blades and so on. Up here, I'm quite happy with this, how it's come out. This is actually like it's like a pond, like not a pond, like a puddle basically. And I've sort of tried to give it a dirty look to it. Which is sort of come out quite nice. Now the way I did that is I basically didn't put any paint on the baseboard. The reason for that was it's a brown piece of wood, and that particular area is very dark brown, and I thought it looked okay. And yeah, it's actually come out quite nicely. There's actually, you can't see it, but you can feel it. There's actually a lip to it all the way around the edge from where the sand, I stopped the sand, pushed it all back, created a nice lip, and it's like water's moved all around it. Now when there's lots of static grass around that and, you know, dirt and things in there, that'll look quite good. Over here, I sort of merged the colours together, same as before, but this area here won't look finished until the longer static grass goes up on it and so on. So this is the last bit which I did work on, and as I said, I'm going to be putting steps up at this end. You can see the path, how it's going to look, and I'm going to use that. The ballast, which I'm not using for the track, is going to be used for pathways basically. Well, hopefully it is. I've stuck this down as sort of like a test section. It looks okay. I mean, to be honest, the gravel is very slightly too large, but I don't think it's so large that it doesn't look very good. Again, longer static grass around it. This one is going to have 4 or 5 mil static grass in sort of a summer, autumn green colour. And I want it to look slightly more maintained, as there's going to be a signal box in that space there. And as what I've done is I've grass around the edge, so when I sit it on top of it, you can't see any baseboard below it. You can just see sort of the grass around it. And when I work out exactly where it's going to sit, stick it down, bit of weight on top of it, and it will look like the grass is growing up towards it. Now this path here obviously carries on from there. When it gets to here, it's going to open up, but I'm not quite sure what sort of signal box I'm getting, because I know some have got stairs on the side, on the edge. Some have got stairs going up on the side and so on. Some don't have any. But I'll just see how it goes and so on. I like the Bachmann signal box, so I might be trying to get one of those. If not, I'll be getting the Metcalf one, because that one looks quite good as well. I haven't gone any further that way because I left this area blank, because I don't know how the steps are going to sit in here. They might go straight down. They might go down on an angle. But anyway, yeah, that's just something else for me to work out. And I'm not sure if I'm going to buy plastic steps and then weather them, or if I'm going to use like matchsticks and stuff, but I have to see how it goes. The matchstick option is quite a good one, because you can sort of make it to your own shape and stuff, and I think it will look quite good. So yeah, that's it for everything I've done really. Hopefully by the next update I'll have some ballasting done, work on the station will have hopefully started, and I will have the longer static grass, which I'm going to be using Notch, I don't know how you want to say it. They do some 12mm long, dark and light green static grass, which I know a few people that have used it, and they've said yeah, it's quite good. So I'm going to be using that there for the longer grass, and I'm going to be using the either Notch or who was the other company? Oh, someone else does a nice 4-5mm long grass, which I think will look good. So yeah, I'm using that. So I just slide the camera back slightly, because I just wanted to give you a second chance to look at this from an above angle, and you can sort of see how the grass changes over the top and so on. So yeah, so that is it for the update. Couple of things to say. If you are interested in the N-gauge layout I've been building, I've got a video for that coming out, and I sort of explain everything that's happening in that. But there's a guy called Reptile Lover 911 on YouTube, and he's building an N-gauge layout, and we've kind of like agreed that I've done the first bit, you know, the track, how to build it from start to senior, I've called it, and you know, all the track, the ballast, the track, the underlay, point motors and all things like that. That's what I've covered. And he sort of agreed to carry it on with all the scenery. He's got most of his ballast down already. He's got most of his sort of like base layer of grass down. He's sort of working on the finer details and stuff. He's got a nice sort of river in there as well. So yeah, go and check out his channel if you're interested in watching the N-gauge sort of the scenery side of it. I might be doing the N-gauge scenery at a later date, but at the moment I've got other things to do, and I've got this, obviously I'm doing the double O gauge layout, which is coming along quite nicely. So yeah, I thought I'd just give you one shot of the whole layout, and yeah, you can have a good look at that. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below, hit the like and subscribe button, I always appreciate that. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.